Okay, so in this class we are going to look at quadratic expression. Okay, we're going to look at quadratic expression. A quadratic expression is an expression of this nature. Okay, for a not equal to 0, meaning that a cannot be equal to 0. A, B, and C are real numbers. Okay, A, B, and C are real numbers. Okay, so what do we need to do, or what do we have to do? How can we okay, let's have examples. Let's look at little examples of quadratic expression. We can have 2x squared plus 4 equals to, is an expression, not an equation. So we can have this. We can have s squared plus 5s equal, keep putting equal to. So because an expression, so there's not supposed to be any equality sign. Okay, there's not supposed to be any equality sign. So we can also have 7s minus s squared. Okay, we can also have s squared minus 1. We can also have 7 minus s squared. So in all this, you notice that there must be presence of s squared. That is the reason of a not equal to being what? 0. So a cannot be 0. A is a number, b is a number, c is a number. A is the coefficient of s squared, coefficient of s, while c is a what? A constant, but they are all real numbers. Okay, they are all real numbers. So now how can we, that's okay, let me write those things out. A is the coefficient of s squared, where b is the coefficient of s, and c is the what? Constant. Or we can also write it in terms of coefficient. So c is the coefficient of x0. Okay, c is the coefficient of x0. Okay, so with this now we have be able to know our quadratic expression, how it looks like. Okay, so the next thing is, how can we factorize a quadratic expression? So we have factorization of a quadratic expression. Okay, factorization of quadratic expression. Okay, let's underline that. So what do we do? What are the steps? Okay, if you have as squared plus bs plus c, we want to factorize this. What are the steps? So we are going to list out steps. So step 1, find the product of a and c. Find the product of a and c. So of course that will give you a times c, which will give you ac. Remember, this represents a value, so this is a number. Then when you have gotten that, the next thing to do is step 2 is to find the factors. Okay, find the factors of AC. Let me put parentheses there. Find the factors of AC that the sum is equal to B. Okay, now what is that one saying? Let me explain that. Step 1 says that you should multiply the term of the coefficient of s squared and the constant, so you get a number. Now the second step of what to do is to find the factors of that AC. Of course, you have gotten in step 1 that when you sum the two factors, it will give you B. Okay, when you add the two factors, it will give you B. Okay, when you add the two factors, it will give you B. Now, when you have gotten those two factors that will give you B, that will lead you to step 3. Okay, step 3 is that you should replace B the sum of the two factors, okay, obtained in step 2. Okay, so before doing quadratic expression or factorization of quadratic expression, I believe you have watched our videos on quadratic on factorization of algebraic expression. Please, if at this point, if you have not watched our video on factorization of algebraic expression, please, I will advise you to go and watch those videos so that you can be able to know how to factorize algebraic expression. Okay, so in step 3, you are to replace B with the sum. So those two numbers that you got here, that when you multiply it you get AC, when you add it you get B, those two numbers you use it to replace B. Okay, so what does that mean is when you replace that B here, okay, of course you are using two numbers to replace this number here, B, is going to make this expression not to be 3 terms anymore. It's going to be 4 terms. Okay, it's going to be 4 terms, which will now look like factorization by grouping. Of course, that's the next step. So step 4 is to group and factorize. Group and factorize. Okay, so in a moment now, we are going to use these steps now to solve some of our problems. So I will advise you to copy this down. Okay, write it out so that you can be able to make use of the steps while solving along with me in the examples, and also while solving some of the exercises that you are going to have in your textbook. Okay, so let's solve some of the examples. So number 1, we are factorizing the following. Okay, so number 1, we have s squared plus 3s plus 2. So we want to factorize this. Okay, now using our steps, okay, side by side, using our steps side by side, you will see that the first step is that we should multiply A and C. So here, let's have our solution. Okay, from what we can see here, our A is equals to 1, while B is equals to 3, and C is equals to 2. Okay, so if you follow that step there, step 1 says that you should find the product of A and C. So let me just highlight the steps. Step 1, A A is 1 times C is 2, so that will give us 2. Okay, so step 2 is that you should find the sum of factors of these two. Then when you add it, you are going to get what? 3. Okay, so factors of 2 is 1 times 2, that will give us 2, and when you add it, 1 plus 2, that will give us 3. So the two numbers I need there is 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are the two factors that I am looking for in step 2. Okay, so coming to step 3, if you have step 3, they said you should replace B with the sum of the two factors. That means anywhere I see 3x, I will replace it with what? The sum of the two factors. So in step 3, instead of writing 3x now, I will have s squared plus 1s plus 2s plus 2. So I have replaced 3. Okay, I have replaced 3 with the sum of the two factors, okay, which is 1 and 2. So instead of 3s, I will have 1s plus 2s. Okay, so with that now, we can now have our group 4, step 4, sorry. Step 4 says that you should group and what? Factorize. Step 4 says that we should group and do what? And factorize. So let's group this. So that will give us s squared plus s. That's the first group, plus. So we have plus here. The sign here won't change. So 2s plus 2. Okay. So to factorize that, that will give us s into s plus 1 plus, to factorize this one, 2 into s plus 1. Okay, so you can see that the brackets are the same. So that will give us x plus 1, open bracket, s plus 2. Okay, so we are done with that one. So let's go to example 2. We don't need to start writing all these steps. Okay, all these steps can be done in your rough sheet. Okay, though I'll be doing it so that you can be able to understand it better. So let's assume that we have 10x plus 24 plus s squared. 10s plus 24 plus s squared. So all you need to do here is to rearrange this so that it can be able to look like this. Okay, it can be able to look like this. Okay, you rearrange this so that it can be able to look like that. Okay, so with that now, if I rearrange this, it will give me s squared plus 24, s squared plus 10s plus 24. So this is what I'm going to solve now. So of course my a is equals to 1, my b equals to 10, and my c equals to 24. So I can go to my rough sheet. Okay, let's assume that here is my rough sheet. Okay, so I can go to my rough sheet to do all these steps. Okay, I'll just put it back here and factorize. So let's assume that here is my rough sheet. Okay, that here is my rough sheet. So I have my a times c as 1 times 24. So that will give me 24. So the question now is that what are the factors of 24 that when I add it I will get 10? Remember, please note that we have positive factors and we have negative factors. Let's take, for instance, 6 times 4 will give us 24, and the minus 6 times minus 4 will also give us what? 24. But here, if I say 6 plus 4, I will have positive 10, and if I say minus 6 plus minus 4, I'll have negative 10. So this is going to actually help us when we solve more problems. Okay, you will see where we are going to use this. But meanwhile, this is what we are going to use. Okay, this is what we are going to use, because the sum of the two factors that gave us 24, we have it as 10, and b is equals to 10. So you replace it, so that will give you s squared. 6 now will be what? 6s plus 4 will be what? 4s. You can see that 6s plus 4s will still give us back our 10s. So plus 24. So the next thing is to do what? To group. Okay, you group and factorize. So when you group, you have s squared plus 6s plus 4s plus 24. So that will give you s into s plus 6 plus, I believe you have watched our factorization video. Okay, that will help you a lot. Plus 4 here, 24 here, so I have 4 into s plus 6. So you can see that s plus 6 is common, so that will give you s plus 6 into what is left here is s plus what is left here is 4. So we have factorized that, so that will give us that. Okay, so moving on the next one. So let's solve more examples. Let's solve more examples. That's example 3. Let's have, you can see the ones that we have solved here. Okay, the one we solve here is there's a positive here, there's a positive here. Okay, plus sign here, there's also a plus sign, a plus sign. Now let us find out if we have negative, if we have plus and negative, how it will affect our method, whether it's going to change it, whether it's going to still be the same, or whether it's going to change. Okay, so let us have a question like this: s squared minus 12x plus 20. Okay, so our a equals to 1, our b equals to, here because we have minus 12 now, b is equals to minus 12. Okay, and our c is 20. So let us go to our rough sheet now. Okay, our rough paper. So this is our, where I'm doing my rough. Okay, so I have my steps here. I'm following my steps. So you have to keep following your steps till you get to master all this. So if I follow my steps say that I should find a times c. So my a is 1, my c is 20. That will give me 20. Okay, and the step 2 here say find the factors of ac. So what are the factors of ac that will give me 12? You have to think. Remember, we have positive factors, we have negative factors. I know that 10 times 2 will give me 20, and 10 plus 2 will give me 12. But if you look here, what we are looking for is minus 12, not 12. Okay, so in that case, what am I going to do? Just change the signs. Okay, just change the signs. When you change the signs, you are going to have, when you change the signs, you are going to have, okay, when you change the signs, you are going to have minus 10 times minus 2, which will still give us our 20. Remember, this is what we are looking for. And minus 10 plus minus 2 will give us minus 12. So we have gotten what we are looking for. So you use it now. Minus 12, that will give us s squared minus 10s minus 2s, because plus minus here will give me minus, then I have plus 20. So after this, you group. Remember, when you group, when you have minus at the middle and you are grouping, the next sign will do what? Will change. So that will give us s squared minus 10x minus 2x minus 20. So the sign have changed. Okay, the sign have changed. So that will give you What is common here? S is common, x minus 10 minus 2 is common, x minus 10. So that will give you x minus 2 into s minus 10. So we have factorized this. Okay, so remember this problem have just one negative sign. Okay, so we are going to look at when we have more than one negative sign. Okay, more than one negative sign. Okay, let us look for a problem that a is not 1. Okay, a problem that a is not 1. So let's take this number 4, 6s squared minus s minus 15. Okay, 6s squared minus s minus 15. Okay, so you can see here we have negative, negative, and our a here is not equals to 1. So what do we do first? We get our values of our a, b, and what? C. Okay, so remember we have our steps to follow. So remember to keep following your steps. Okay, because it's the steps that will help you to get your answers right. So a equals to 1, b equals to, I guess you were able to get that right. So b equals to minus 1. Oh, a equals to 6 here, b equals to minus 1, and c equals to minus 15. So I will go back to my rough section. Okay, my a times c will give me 6 times minus 15, which will give me 6 times minus 15 will give me minus 90. Okay, it will give me minus 90. So the next question now is that what are the factors of minus 90? When I add it, I will get minus 1. So when you are looking for a factor of a negative number, it simply means that one number will be positive while the other number will be negative. Feel free to try numbers so that you can be able to get the right number. Okay, so don't just pick a number and assume that that will give you your factor. You can try your hand on different numbers, okay, that will give you 90 to see the one that when you add it you have minus 1. So let's try. Of course we know that 45 times 2 will give us 90, but 45 plus 2 will give us 47, which is far from minus 1. Okay, so we move a little bit closer. So we have, which number should we take? Okay, 15 times 6 is 90, while 15 plus minus 15 minus 6 will give us 7, which is still far. Okay, okay, so let's try other numbers. What are other factors of 90? Other factors of 90, we have 3 times 30, we have 4 can go, we have 5 times 5 times 18 will give us 90, and the 6 times 15 will give us 90. Can 7 go? 7 cannot go. Can 8 go? 9 can go. I get it now. 9 times 10 will give us 90. Okay, but we need minus 90, so what it means that one of these numbers is going to give us negative, or one of these numbers have to be negative. So which one needs to be negative for us to get minus 1? I think is 10. So we have 9 times minus 10, which will give us minus 90, and 9 plus minus 10 will give us minus 1. Yes, we have gotten it. So we use this now and replace our minus 1. So that will give us 6s squared plus 9x minus 10x. Okay, then minus 15. So after that, we have gotten our product. We have gotten our two factors that can be the sum will give us b, and we have replaced. So the next thing is to group and factorize. Okay, so the next thing, we group 6s squared plus 9x. Remember, when you have minus at the middle, the sign, we did that here, we have minus at the middle, the sign of the next one change inside the bracket. We have done this, we have said this a lot of time in factorization of algebraic expression, and we are also seeing it here in factorization of quadratic expression. So it is good for us to note that, because most times students tend to make that mistake of just putting minus and leaving the sign that was there. Is not correct that way. So we need to always take note of that. 10s, the sign will not change to plus 15. Okay, so we bring out what is common in each bracket. 3 is common here and s is also common, so that will give us 2x. So if we do that here, I'll have only 3 remaining. So minus 5 is common, so you bring out your 5, you have 2s plus 3. So you can see that the brackets are common, so you bring out your brackets, which is 2s plus 3 into 3s minus 5. So you are done with that problem. Okay, so let us solve. We have done two positive numbers, okay, in our number 1 and number 2 example, and we have done minus and plus, and we have done minus. So let us look at plus and minus. Okay, so that's going to be our number 5 example. So plus and minus, that will give, let's have this example, 2x squared plus x, okay, 2x squared plus s minus 15. Okay, 2s squared plus s minus 15, this plus, this minus. So our a equals to 2, b equals to 1, and c equals to minus 15. So our a times c is equals to 2 times minus 15, which is equals to minus 30. Okay, which is equals to minus 30. So we are now looking for a factor of minus 30, that when I add it I will get 1, and when I multiply it I will get minus 30. Okay, so let's think, what are those two numbers? 2 times 15, 3 times 10 will give us minus 30. Which other number? 6 times 5, I've gotten it. Okay, 6 times 5 will give us 30, but we need minus 30. So since for a positive number, that means the smaller number here will be negative. So 6 times minus 5 will give us minus 30, and 6 plus minus 5 will give us 1. So that's what we are going to use. So you carry this and replace it here. So in place of 1, you are not going to have 6s minus, because plus minus will give you minus. So 6s minus 5s, so that will give us 2s squared plus 6s minus 5s minus 15. So you can still see that 6s minus 5s will give us 1s. So you group 2s squared plus 6s minus, remember when minus is at the middle, the sign of the next one will do what? Will change. Okay, so what is common? 2 is common, s is common, so we have x plus 3 minus 5 is common here, s plus 3. Okay, so s plus 3 is common, so you bring it out, s plus 3, open brackets, what is left here is 2s minus what is left here is 5. Okay, so that's how to factorize that. The next one we are going to look at is quadratic expression, which is popularly called difference of two squared. Difference of two squared. Okay, so difference of two squared is a very simple method, so let's call it difference of two squares. Okay, difference of two squares. Now how does it look like? A squared minus b squared. These are two squares. Of course, subtraction is difference. That will give you a plus b into a minus b. So you can see there is no much work here. The only job that we have is to be able to express whatever we have in what? Difference of two squares. Okay, so let's take example. Factorize the following. Factorize the following. Okay, let's have number 1. 2 square minus y square. So very simple. You have 2 plus y into 2 minus y. So very simple. Number 2, if I have 4s square minus y. Now here is where we now need to explain some things. You can see that it's only s that is squared, but here everything here is squared, which is just a, and everything here is squared, which is just b. So what are we going to do? We are going to make sure that both of these are going to be squared. Okay, so that is going to give us, sorry, we have y square here. That's going to give us 2 square s square minus y square. Okay, so with that now you can now factorize, which is going to give you 2x plus y into 2s minus y. So we can also have it as a fraction. We can have 1 over 16s square minus 1 over y. Okay, let's have w square y square. Okay, so I'm just to vary the questions so that no matter the kind of question you face, you can be able to solve that problem. So that will give you 1 is already a perfect square, so 1 square over 16 have 4 square and s square, okay, minus w square and y square. So we are done. Open bracket, 1 over 4x plus w over y into 1 over 4s minus w over y. Okay, so with all we have done now, you can go back to your textbook, pick some questions and try and factorize. Okay, so long as it's a quadratic expression, I am confident that with what we have done now, if you can be able to, you will get your answer. Okay, so we are moving to quadratic equation. Okay, we are moving to quadratic equation, and now that we have done factorization, we can also move to other form of algebraic fraction that involve factorizing. Okay, so see you in our next video, and please subscribe to our channel and like our video, and remember to share our videos in your social media and other platforms, your friends, WhatsApp, everywhere, so that they can be able to learn all these topics that we have treated. Thank you very much.